Welcome to the Real Estate Pros Show, where we interview real estate investing professionals from coast to coast, as well as the service providers that serve the real estate investing industry. Our goal is simple: share what's working now to help you improve and scale your business to the next level and meet the pros that can help you get there. Real Estate Pros is powered by Investor Fuel, America's leader in helping real estate investors and professionals build the business you need to live the life you've always dreamed of. Let's start today's show. Property insurance for real estate investors doesn't have to be difficult, but it does need to be there to protect you when you need it. MyInvestorInsurance.com not only provides insurance at 15 to 30% cheaper than traditional agencies, it's built specifically for real estate investors like you. You can set up an account in about 2 minutes, get quotes on properties, turn on and turn off insurance for your fix and flip or rental properties in around 2 minutes without having to talk to anyone directly, all through our portal. There's no better way or faster way to make sure you've got the coverage you need to protect you, and no more lengthy policies either. Once you're set up, you're billed monthly and prorated by the day for however long your policy is active. It's powered by MSI, the third largest independent MGA, with 1.5 million customers and more than $1 billion in cumulative premiums written. Get set up today in about 2 minutes at myinvestorinsurance.com/fuel.
Hey folks, welcome back to the show. I'm your host, Dylan Silver, and today on the show I have a corporate credit coach, as well as just released an application, which is really pretty incredible. We're going to talk about that here today. Out of Montana, by way of Pennsylvania, Sue Schuster. Sue, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much, Dylan.
It's a pleasure to have you on the show here. We were chatting before hopping on about really a super niche and, to me, very new idea, which is you have an application that you launched to help folks build their corporate business credit.
Yeah, it's amazing. The app is not very old at all. We're really excited about it and helping people grow their corporate credit.
You know, for me, I got an LLC. I don't know how many, it might be a year ago at this point, but it felt like just yesterday. And one of the things that they give you is an EIN number. And I know from my time when I was in car sales, I did car sales before getting into real estate, that we'd all the time have people who would try to buy vehicles to get their business credit going. And it was a whole like rigmarole. Like almost no one could actually do it. The people that did do it had to be so savvy and like experts on this. And they, even some of the finance people who worked for the dealership weren't familiar with the process. So sometimes what we would often see is they would have to, I forget the exact terminology, but effectively they'd have to co-sign or be the guarantor for the note. And then they might have to do that twice before their business credit would be established enough where they could do it on their own. And so, we were talking beforehand that some people think, it's too good to be true. How do I get my business credit going through an application? So where did the idea for an application, come about?
Well, I mean, funny you bring up the trucks and getting cars, because our founder and one of the CEOs actually did just that. So he had a trucking industry and he knew about corporate credit. He was savvy enough to go ahead and establish the corporate credit on his own, learned everything, and then went and bought 2 vehicles on a company that he had just established. And they went to the dealership and says, I want to buy these on the EIN number. And the dealership's like, okay, yeah. And he's like, no, trust me, just go put it through these banks and do that. And they came back astonished and were like, wait a minute, this actually worked. So he's done that a few times now, gotten different vehicles on his EIN number. So it is possible. You do need to know what you're doing. And now we made a very easy way to do it with the app.
Now, I've also heard this term, and I don't know if this is a similar thing or something completely different. This is just my ignorance to the subject. Is a Dubs and Bradstreet, is that involved with EIN? Is that something completely different? Are you familiar with this?
Of course. So there's 3 reporting agencies. There's Dun and Bradstreet, there's Experian Business, and there's Equifax Business, all separate from personal. And the problem is actually a reporting problem. They say they report on your EIN number, especially like when you do an SBA loan or other bank loan, but then you also put your social security number. Often that gets reported to your own social security or it gets reported to nowhere. Very, very rarely does it get reported to any of the three. And
Yeah.
that's what we kind of specialize in is making sure it gets reported, how it's getting reported, and then utilizing it.
Stop living on an island and join the #1 mastermind in America for professional real estate investors. Investor Fuel is a community of hundreds of the nation's top investors working together to build stronger businesses and better lives. In addition to the amazing community of real estate investors acting as a board of advisors for one another, Investor Fuel members have access to 100% funding on purchase and repairs for our members only, a health insurance program, and benefits and discounts that more than pays for the membership of most of our members, meaning it's actually costing you money to not be a member of Investor Fuel. If you're looking to scale your business and build a business that allows you to live the life of your dreams, please visit investorfuel.com today and book a call with our team.
So without a lot of education, it does seem like a lot of people will just continue to use kind of their own personal credit and not really build any business credit. And there's so much information that I've seen. I'm sure you've heard a lot of these things, like, establishing, I forget what the term is, but like trade lines at some of the, like for fix and flippers at Home Depot or some of these places.
Right.
And there's so much information out there. Is that a lot of what, you dive into when you're in your application and when coaching people through this process?
We do. It's like many cards, there's two cards. There's two Home Depot cards, one for regular people and then one for the corporations. How do you get that corporation card? You have to already have corporate credit. Uh, Capital One does it too. Amex does it too. So there are cards out there that you can utilize just on your EIN number. The problem is getting to them. So yeah, that's what we're teaching to do.
And so, for folks who are looking at establishing that business credit, what do you recommend as kind of like the baseline? Like, this is what you should have prepared. Do you need to have outstanding personal credit already? Like, if you're not close to, high 700s, is that something that you should be working on? Is there, should you say, well, I should have a nest egg established and before I go into this? What's kind of the mindset as well, that foundational when you're looking for business credit?
For the business credit foundation, actually, you just have to have your business set up correctly. So, are you an LLC? Are you a sole proprietor? Is that done correctly? Are you filing your taxes under it? What's your address? What's your phone number? Because the lenders do not like a Gmail account and they don't like to call your cell phone. They don't want to Google the property and say, hey, nope, that looks like a house. So we teach them actually how to set up their companies correctly and then how to make sure that what they're doing is getting established to the three credit bureaus and to sign up kind of like a FICO score to make sure that that's right. And then we will go start utilizing cards and loans and everything else that do report.
Now, I mean, selfishly, I'm thinking about this and thinking about, well, now I know somebody who's in the space because I was looking at this myself. But how did you get into the space? I mean, it does seem like it's difficult to become an expert in this.
It is. I fell into it through business coaching. So I used to be a small business owner for 20 years. And then I went into the financial industry and I didn't like that so much. So then I found the opportunity to put my coaching experience that I've had for a long, long time and building a business and finance together. And I found this awesome company that has a fantastic culture and I just feel completely at home. And they taught me all this stuff because I definitely didn't know. And part of the mission is, hey, I didn't know. What else don't I know? And what else doesn't everybody else know? They should
Yeah,
know too.
very, very, very little. I mean, I'm thinking about the possibilities now. I mean, I'm assuming, and correct me if I'm wrong, and I don't know how much work you do specifically with people who are involved in flips, but are
Oh my
people
goodness, it's
able,
amazing.
are
This is
people,
like,
are they able to qualify for, traditional mortgages and like hard money loans based off of their, business credit itself rather than having to use their personal credit? Is that something that lenders are, and do lenders even care? Because when they put it in, if it's good credit, it's good credit.
there's a couple ways to do it. So let me back up again.
Yeah.
This is like tailor made for flippers or rental owners keep hold. Uh, it is absolutely amazing for it. So there's three ways to establish corporate credit. First is through the app. Of course, that's the cheapest. And then we can, if you're not savvy or can't be accountable to yourself to do the things on the app, then we have a coaching that can walk you through the process. And then there's a shortcut. Everybody loves a shortcut. Of course, we'll get a little more expenses as we go up, but the shortcut can get you funding on your EIN number to use any way you want to, um, in 90 days.
If you're looking for consistent, high quality leads, look no further than Investor Machine. Investor Machine isn't just another agency, it's the most sophisticated, data driven lead generation company on the planet for real estate investors, and serves the role of being not just a lead generator for your business, but a marketing partner that is helping you achieve your goals along the way. Go to investormachine.com to learn more and schedule a call with our team today.
Wow.
So if you're a flipper and you're looking for quick sales and or sheriff sales, something like that, and you need money kind of quick, I mean, maybe that's not quick enough for a sheriff sale, but you can get it established. It's on lines of credit. It's on short-term or long-term loans. It can be on credit cards. You can use the money for whatever. It's not called a mortgage. It's on your EIN number. Um, and we have different ways to do that as well.
So I do want to get a little granular here, Sue, and you don't have to give
Sure.
away all the gold, but maybe some of it. Uh, for folks, I'm thinking about myself. I've done probably 20 or so wholesale transactions where I'm effectively selling the contract to an end buyer. So I'll get a property under contract, then I'll sell to an end buyer. I'm now a
Mhm.
licensed real estate agent, newly licensed in Dallas, and so thinking about these spaces, I'm thinking about myself and other people who are looking at doing flips. But it does seem I'm now even like, well, who can build the business credit? Do I need to have, lots of available cash and, an extensive credit history and super stellar credit in order to get the business credit going? Or is it like you mentioned, really just having a solid business foundation?
If you're starting with the app or with coaching, it's a longer process. It can take up to a year. So what you're doing is you're utilizing your cards, you're spending money on them, and then you're paying them off. That's what the business credit people want to see. They want to see that you can charge and pay off and charge and pay off. And then they're looking at you like, hey, this person charges a lot and then pays off a lot. They're going to pay me too. So that can take 6 months to a year because you have to go through a bunch of credit cycles. So it takes a while. So you should have a business about 2 years old. If you don't, and you would like to kind of take the shortcut version, we can do all that for you. You do need some capital to start it up, but when you have capital, I don't know, 10,000, 25,000, you can get funding for 400, $800,000 on that. So you can use your start
Oh, gosh.
snap, huh? You can use your startup money and not like all of it so that you can get big funding at the end. And then it comes from a real bank and it's real money and we don't get paid until you guys get paid. So,
I'm actually not, this is my own personal ignorance on this. I'm not sure how most fix and flippers, I actually think if I'm just guessing, if I'm a betting man, that most fix and flippers are using their personal credit for all of these things. And if they're using, their business name, it's still going off of their personal credit. Have you seen that most, mom and pop fix and flippers and people who may have a couple multifamily deals, are they even aware that they can be doing this?
no, no,
They're
that's,
not
I mean,
aware.
they're not aware. This isn't something that they're looking up on Google or anything else because they don't know to look it up. So
Yeah,
this is kind of just out there, and we're just bringing it to the masses. So Wall Street, could you imagine Wall Street that they've got to want to make a new factory for Toyota, and their CEO is personally guaranteeing this? He's not doing that.
right.
Why are we as mom and pop and well, why are we? We don't have to either. We just have to know somebody, and now you know somebody.
So, I do want to, again, get a little granular when it comes to uh, this process for you as a whole. So, I mean, you on a personal note, you were able to get in with a company that specializes in this. Was this something that you were utilizing as well in your business to establish, a business credit for yourself as well?
No, I had no idea. So when I got into our group here at the Tri-Touring, uh, they taught me about this. I'm like, wait, what? Why
Yeah.
didn't I know this? Being a business owner for 20 years, I think my story might have been different if I had known. So that's part of the mission, is just to get everybody the funding they need on their EIN, and not on their house or their future earnings or their kids' college education, to remove all that.
If you're a new or newer real estate investor looking to launch or grow your real estate investing business, please check out Investor Fuel Club. It's a coaching community, but unlike anything you've ever seen before. And you can actually partner with members of our mastermind from coast to coast on deals right in your market. There's no better opportunity to build a consistent business than to literally partner with pros to help you avoid costly mistakes, avoid the need for capital to do deals, and help you eliminate your fears as you're starting your business. Learn more about Investor Fuel Club at investorfuel.com/club.
You're gonna have me going down the EIN rabbit hole here now. When we get off here, I'm gonna be asking ChatGPT all about this because
Yes, please do.
I think there's been, times where I don't know if I've seen through who knows social media or just scrolling my feed. I may have seen something about this, but again, I am falling into the category of one of the skeptics. I was like, well, that's not real. How does anyone do that? But now being able to have a point of contact, I mean, selfishly, I'm going to ask you, how to get started with this. And so when you're, talking with folks who are really ideal for business credit, whether they're fix and flippers, or I think another thing is, I don't know if you're familiar with Turo, people who have like a bunch of Turo cars out. And so if you've got like 5 or 6 Turo cars, these are rental vehicles that
Oh,
you
okay.
it's like Airbnb for cars. And so if you've got 5 or 6 Turo cars out and they're all in your name and you're just signing off on these
Yeah.
cars, you know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Oh, your credit probably is trash because it gets hit
You have
every
so
time you
many.
try to make a loan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have buddies, 2 buddies. One who actually is in the car business in San Antonio, bunch of Turo cars out, and I think he's paying for all of them in cash. I don't know if he's aware that he has this other option, or he may be, but it's one of these deals where it's complicated. How am I gonna do that? Like what time do I have to do this? So I think
Well,
what
yeah, you
you know,
use somebody else's money. And then the interest rates we're getting, so the corporate interest rates you get is about 2, 3 points over prime, or 1, 2 points over prime.
yeah.
And it's more money you can get for less of an interest rate. Um, so he's just using cash, and that's really expensive, and
If cash is
hopefully
expensive.
doesn't, yeah, doesn't want to it doesn't drain him too much.
For these cash flow heavy businesses too, we talk about rental cars, right? Airbnb, right? So the premiums that your monthly payments are being paid for by someone else's money, but by your
Mhm.
cash flow coming in. And so it really is a perfect fit for people who are looking at sources of funding versus you having to bootstrap it and do everything yourself. Actually,
Right.
on that topic of bootstrapping, I've kind of become aware on some level that there's a lot of ways for people to get started when they're entrepreneurs. Most of the time, people are bootstrapping. Some of the time, they're, a middleman. That's what, wholesalers are, and effectively finding end buyers and finding deals. And some of the time, they're raising capital from other people, and that can seem difficult. I've had people on the show tell me that I should start raising capital, and I have. But now I'm aware, well, they can also use another tool, which is business credit. And, like to your point, you said earlier, it could take, a year to get this established. There's other quicker ways to do it. There's no reason in my mind, and correct me if I'm wrong, if I'm starting an LLC today, I might as well start getting the business credit established today.
Correct. Yeah. So, I mean, you want your business credit to be good before you need it, because once you need it, it's pretty much too late, and then you have to
Yeah.
go the expensive way. So, yes, soon as the app will walk you right through how to build your business from the business name to what type of entity you want to be, to do you need foreign filing? What is foreign filing? It walks you through all that with AI generated, and we have a bot in there too. And then once you've established, you've filed, and then we go with making sure that you're filing with Experian, Equifax, Dun& and Bradstreet. And then we walk you through what cards and what avenues actually report. And we make sure they are reporting, because if they're on our site, they report. Otherwise, they wouldn't be on our site. Not only that, our site has things like Hey Jen and QuickBooks it's like the discount store in there too. Not only that, it has a ton of templates in there that you can download for yourself. Maybe you need an HR template, maybe you need a deeds template, maybe you need a rental agreement template that
Yeah.
you can put all in there. So, I mean, not only is it the course that takes you through everything with corporate credit, but it has all these other things, and it's growing daily. So I can't even tell you what's on the horizon.
I think a lot of people are going to be interested in this. Are you seeing maybe one vertical or one area industry where this is the best use case for it? I mean, of course, you mentioned vehicles, but also fix and flipping. Is there one area where you're seeing just a ton of interest from people in this?
Flippers are definitely way up there. Another one is contractors, people
Hmm.
who want to do big business later. Like, I will get a large paycheck, but I need a bridge loan to get me there. So I can't get the bigger business because I have to take the smaller jobs because I have to pay my guys. But if I could have a cash flow or a line of credit that I can pay my guys so that I can get the bigger jobs and get the bigger payday a little later, works super well there as well.
Yeah,
Or
for
somebody just looking to do a new line item, or maybe they really want to go to the next level and they need to pay a couple more employees to grow. So it's like a catch 22. They need money to make money. And if they don't have the wherewithal, the knowledge to get the money, whether it be personal or EIN, then they're kind of stuck where they are. They can't grow. So this is a means to grow.
Man, I feel like I'm up opening Pandora's box here. What an incredible thing that you're doing. Are you seeing that there's that many other people that are in this space? I mean, I don't know anybody personally other than you that I've ever met who does this.
There are some people in the space, and this is not a new thing. Uh, but we have contracted, aligned, partnered, however you want to call it, with some very strategic partners. Uh, the people who made the algorithm for the banks
Hmm.
work with us. So we know exactly what we need to populate their EIN so that we can get them funding.
Wow.
So we found the right people. Our CEOs are just dynamite and fantastic people, and they we have all been burned. So we didn't know about corporate credit,
Yeah.
and then something happened, and then we lost our house. That happened to one of them. Somebody else got in a major accident, and their partners pretty much stole the business from under him.
Yeah.
And then somebody else was in the trucking business, and he's like, there's a better way to do this. So this is not new, but it is new with the app, and it is new to really try to get out there into the masses. That's what's
I
new.
mean, it almost feels like, and I'm not I don't want to say, well, I'm not going to say that, but it almost feels like there's a concerted effort to not let people know about it, to the point where, like, I'm in this space. I sold cars for 4 or 5 years, and it was very, very rare, extremely rare, where I would ever come across anybody who was even familiar with this. And I do think that, more people, more everyday people, you don't need to have, and correct me if I'm wrong here, so you don't need to have a massive real estate portfolio in order for this to make sense. On your
Yeah.
second deal, on your first deal, this could make sense if you've got the credit there.
Well, think of it like this. So you start with one rental property that's in its own LLC. You start building corporate credit on that. That one, it gets to be stage two, tier two or tier four. Now you can get another rental company, and then you LLC on that. Of course, you don't want LLCs like on one LLC. You want each in their own. Just
Sure.
that's good business practice. But
Yeah.
now you have two, three all building their own corporate credit. In not too long, you can just buy property off of property off of
Oh my
property and then
gosh.
take all your LLC's corporate credits together and just paper loan money back and forth between your own self.
So
So,
you're
I mean,
talking about 4 lines of like business credits.
yeah, any LLC you have can make its own line of credit.
Incredible. Oh my gosh. Well, I'm almost flustered, which is a rare thing for me to be because I'm thinking about the possibilities here. I mean, just to give you an example of how um, real estate investors are just completely unaware of this opportunity, I'll talk to people and, they'll be talking about utilizing, which nothing against this, I think it's a great thing, but they'll be talking about utilizing credit stacking. I don't know if you're familiar with this, to where they will basically have multiple credit cards, 0% interest,
Yeah,
and then stack it up over time to where they may have hundreds of thousands in credit and then reapply to kind of extend the 0% period. But if they're doing all that effort into something like that, I mean, that's a lot of effort. They could do equally as much effort into something like this and get just as much, if not much better returns. I mean, you're talking for every property, you could be having a business
right.
line.
So yes, I am very familiar with MCA loans, the credit card stacking. And if you don't pay them off in time, I mean, they're okay for flippers because it's short time. But I also know some other business owners who got in a pinch and utilized them, and now they're paying credit card interest on a loan weekly, and they're super aggressive. So she's
Yeah.
paying like 100,000 a week, and it's killing her business. So be
Yep.
very, very careful with those. We do have those as well, and they make sense sometimes, but as a long-term fix or any long time period, that's a bad move.
It is a risk. There's definitely a risk there. Sue, we are coming up on time. Really enjoyed learning about this. I'm super excited to go down my own Chat GPT rabbit hole with this, and we'll definitely talk after the show here. But where can folks go to learn more about the business, to take a look at the application, and maybe to reach out to you if they want to learn more?
Sure. So my email is Schuster, so SSCHUSTER at profit Turing, TURING.ai. And the app is Try Turing AI. I do have a link that I would love to give you before you go signing up.
Yeah.
And that's about it.
Sue, thank you so much for coming on the show here today. I'm actually personally grateful that you reached out to us and booked the time to get on the podcast here, because there's so many people that do need this, and including me. I need to look into this. So thank you so much for coming on the show here today. And I think we're going to see a lot more of you in the business here in the future. So let's stay connected.
Yes, my pleasure. Thank you.
Thanks for joining us for today's Real Estate Pros Show. You can learn more about the amazing benefits of the Investor Fuel Mastermind community, including surrounding yourself with hundreds of other rock stars, 100% financing for your deals, and members-only discounts from vendors you're likely already using that, as a member of Investor Fuel, will save you more than the cost of your membership. Visit investorfuel.com to learn more. If you're interested in joining us as a guest of this show, please visit investorfuel.com/pros to apply. You can also check the show notes for access to free resources, how to get access to world-class lead generation, and much more. Don't forget to subscribe so you never miss another episode. Have a great day. We'll see you on the next show.